Elon Musk says he guarantees excitement for liftoff of world's biggest ever rocket. Nearly 2 years after the last high-altitude flight test of its Starship rocket, SpaceX is preparing to finally launch the Mars-bound craft into orbit. SpaceX boss Elon Musk, who hopes to one day use the rocket to colonize Mars, said this week that the Starship launch is trending towards near the end of the third week of April. The US Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, has marked the 17th of April as the primary launch date. There are also backup launch dates in place for the 22nd of April, according to the FAA's Operation Plans Advisory Report. The FAA told that a decision would be made once it is satisfied that SpaceX meets all the necessary safety and regulatory requirements, with the last hurdle expected to be an environmental compliance review. You can follow all the latest news and updates right here as SpaceX attempts to launch the largest rocket the world has ever seen. Starship launch. How previous tests have gone. This may be the first ever orbital flight test of Starship, but SpaceX has already performed numerous high-altitude flights with previous prototypes of the rocket. All but one of them ended in a fiery explosion, just like this one. The one that made it was Starship SN-15, which managed to land back on its pad at SpaceX's Starbase facility in southern Texas in May 2021. Fast forward nearly 2 years and SpaceX boss Elon Musk says there's no guarantee that the latest Starship won't end in failure. "I am not saying it will get to orbit, but I am guaranteeing excitement," he said last month. "It won't be boring." Starship launch. SpaceX's timeline for the flight test. The first ever orbital flight test of a Starship rocket will take just an hour and a half, according to SpaceX's launch timeline. It will see Starship and its booster rocket lift off from the Starbase facility in Texas, before the two separate over the Gulf of Mexico. As the booster comes down to land on a drone ship, the main Starship rocket will continue around the planet to splash down just off the coast of Hawaii. Starship launch. What will SpaceX's next-gen rocket actually be used for? Elon Musk has big plans for Starship, having pinned his hopes for colonizing Mars on the next-generation rocket. The ultimate goal is to establish a permanent human presence on the Red Planet by 2050. But before that, a base on the Moon will need to be set up in order to serve as a launch pad for missions deeper into the solar system. SpaceX has already secured a multi-billion-dollar deal with NASA to develop a Starship moon lander as part of the US Space Agency's Artemis mission. A crewed flight of Starship HLS, Human Landing System, will not take place earlier than December 2025, according to NASA, but should occur before 2030. If successful, it will be a modified version of this rocket that will then take humans to Mars. First, though, SpaceX needs to complete the orbital flight test.